Divine greetings and gratitude. Welcome to the Saiyonan Sanctuary. If you are new here, my name is Nuna. I am the seer, the poet, the writer, the witch, and the founder and keeper of the Saiyonan archives and the Saiyonan Etherium. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And if you are returning, tribe, welcome back to our sacred space. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. We're going to be getting into a reading right now, and I want to just kind of see what's going to happen with this one. I actually had two videos ready for you. I was going to do a standard reading, and then I was going to have the extended reading to that because it was just a lot of messages coming through. However, there was something wrong with the audio, which has been happening quite frequently recently with me. It's been something about this audio, but now we're in a space where we can go ahead and just get things going. Okay. So in this reading, I'm going to be casting charms. And then if you want to hear the additional messages that are associated with the reading, I'm going to make sure to have a link for you where you can go ahead and reserve that reading by giving an offering. The reason being is because I want to make sure that I keep my time here on YouTube adequate enough so that it doesn't pretty much kill my watch time. So I have to make sure that I get that taken care of, and I have to keep that into consideration. So I'm going to start doing that until we grow the channel a lot more. If you are wanting me to post the readings more, whether they're long or short on here, let me know. I also do have a space where you can get your readings and whatnot behind the scenes in our Saiyonan circle if you want to be a private member. So all those options will be available. Actually, I want this to be the other way. All those options will be available to you, but we're going to go ahead and get started with some charms first, and then we'll go ahead and proceed to doing the reading as stated. So how are you feeling? How are you doing? Go ahead and let me know down in the comment section. If you are not subscribed, I want to go ahead and invite you to do that because we are going to be getting into some things this year. And yes, we are definitely going to be getting deep into it. Okay. Thank you so much for being in this space with me. Divine, I want to thank you so much for your divine love and your benevolent protection. Thank you so much for protecting me as the one who does the readings for the Saiyonan Collective. Thank you so much for allowing my soul tribe to receive what they need, and may they reserve what they do not need as a gift for someone else who may need the information or the wisdom. Thank you so much for protecting me as I immerse myself into the reservoir of divine wisdom that is available to each and every one of us. Thank you so much for allowing me to have created the space for the Saiyonan Circle and the Saiyonan Collective. Thank you so much for protecting me as the medium and also as the interpreter, the priestess, the prophetess, the witch, the writer who gives all of her many gifts and talents to help her soul tribe. Thank you so much for allowing our soul tribe and also our spiritual team to come into this space. I welcome you in, the beings of light who want the best for our highest and our greatest good. Thank you so much for giving us messages that we need to hear specifically for my soul tribe, and may I also have discernment to know what is for me and what is not for me. I set the intention that the space is protected at all costs. It is so. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into casting the charms. I had to go ahead and put a cloth down because typically whenever we're casting charms, sometimes they do kind of fly. They fly, and it does get it gets a little noisy sometimes, and that's kind of, I don't want to say it's annoying, but the noises, I get overstimulated sometimes, of course, with having 4 children here as a homeschooling mom. So yeah, it gets overwhelming. But anyway, yes, I wanted to go ahead and leave this down. Don't you? It's just so beautiful, right? Like, isn't it just so beautiful? It lets in so much light. And I just could not have it any other way. It's just so full of light. I love it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. I may or may not be casting dice as well. That is a big bag of charms. If I must say so myself, that is a big bag of charms. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. You may hear some noises in the background because I have the windows open. I'm in the living room because the living room has a lot more light than the office does right now. So that's where we're at. We're chilling. I'm on the floor on my meditation mat, back against the couch at the coffee table that we've turned into an altar for your reading. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Spirit, what is it that our soul tribe needs to hear at the moment? Thank you so much for Having us here. What is it that we need? I just heard the word cluster. I just heard the word cluster. Okay, let's go ahead and pull a few more charms and just cast them. All right. Spirit says do one more. Spirit says do one more. Oh, I just heard the words, what have you done? And it sounds kind of serious right now. I heard, what have you done? I just heard the spark of conversation. Okay, so again, the bullet is here. So the bullet came out in the last reading. And in that last reading, it is interesting because it was kind of talking about how bullets are not dangerous on their own. And we talked about how bullets are essentially used as obviously as weapons, but they're not dangerous by themselves, and neither are the compartments that are used to shoot this energy out. It has everything to do with the person, right? With the being that has this item and what they're using it for. And so I heard the words, what have you done? And I feel like I just heard the words, it was an accident. So this is pointing me to someone that may have done something that they did not intend on hurting anyone. But in turn, either someone was hurt or just someone did not get the good side of this at all. And I'm almost kind of feeling like I just heard that someone is sorry. And that's so interesting because this snakehead here is off. The snakehead is cut off. Excuse my nail, but the snakehead here is cut off, right? This was a part of an earring. And it's interesting because I also do see two rings here, which you have a ring here, which is used to get rid of negative energy. And it said that once this ring breaks, that means that the negative energy is done, but I'm using it as a charm. And there's another ring here, and the ring is pointing this way. So I almost kind of feel like someone's commitments are like pointing the other direction. And there was something that happened with this bullet here. It's like once this has happened, it can't be undone. And now the only way to go is by letting it be and letting it go and letting it be what it is almost. I just heard you want to make a run for it. Why am I hearing that someone wants to make a run for it? Someone is trying not to get into something, or someone is just like, what have you done? It's like, what did you do? Are you kidding me? What did you do? And then you explain what you did, and they're like, okay, I know that you did not have the bad intention or have any bad intentions, but you were going to have to leave this space, because if people see this and they find out and they think that it was you, they are not going to respond well to this. You are going to have to leave the premises. There's something about you being protected in this space until everything kind of like blows over. And then once people have settled, they say, oh, okay, this is what happened. And this person, okay, it was an accident. Okay, we understand it. And then something happens where you then are revealed as a person that did it. But now that they mention that they understand it, they have to stand on that now, because now that they've already mentioned it again, it's like, okay, well, we understand, we get it. Well, I know that this person didn't mean it, and this person really didn't mean it. Yes, we know that. So the moment that they find out that it was you, they have to stick to that now, because no matter what happened, right? You said you forgive. You said that you get it. Now that you know who it is, why would you want to change your word because of who you believe that it is, right? Or because of who it is. This means that you're not willing to look at the truth. You're only looking at who it was. Does that make sense? And I really do feel. Oh, also, you guys may or may not hear someone come to the door because it's Amazon and I have a package coming. So yes, and all right. So we're gonna continue. So basically, yes, yeah, that was a person from Amazon coming to deliver that package. So yes, where we at? So basically, yes, I feel honestly like there's a lot of I just heard there's a lot of secrecy, but I'm also feeling with this here that there's a lot of clouded energy that's about to be revealed that's going to be a lot more clear. And once you see this truth, there really is no going back on it. And now that this has been seen, you're now in a space where you can start to kind of hear the music again, because something felt a bit distorted and now something is becoming a lot more clear. And now that people know the truth, you have to now stand on it. Don't switch it up just because you feel like you don't like the person, or don't switch it up now because you don't like who this person is. Stand on it. But there's something so freeing and liberating about whatever this person was protecting you from. There's someone here that I feel like is on your side. I can't, I don't see any malevolence here. I feel like there was something that may have happened where this could be you or this could be someone else that did something that was on a genuine accident. They did not mean to do whatever this was. Like, it's not what it looks like. Does that make sense? Even though you may see two people leaving out of a room, doesn't mean that they were doing what they didn't need to do. That could have been a private conversation being had to sort things out in private. That way it doesn't make it out to the public, so that they can prevent whatever misinformation or whatever it is, because people see things and then they twist it according to how they believe things to be. And now it's like, well, if you are seen here by these people right now, it's going to look a certain way, because people can sometimes be irresponsible with their perspectives, and they move from a subjective standpoint and not from a space of divine truth. And I feel like now that they know, okay, this was genuinely an accident, there's something where it's safe for you to exit, or it's safe for you to enter now, because now that you know that it was an accident, you cannot take that back, because if you do, you're being biased and you're being very partial. This, whatever happened, it was an accident. Something was an accident. Something was an accident. And we have to go with that. Something was an accident. It was not done on purpose. It was not done on purpose. Okay? I feel like Spirit is letting you know also that the fact that you have the evil eye bracelet here, as well as you have 3 keys. There's keys, and then you have several rings here as well. Like, you have 3 rings here. What else do you have? You have a mirror here that's broken. Okay, you have a smiley face that's upside down. What else do you have? You have a lot of things here. You have closed eyes. I want you to understand too, I just heard the word trust, and it makes sense because you do have a cross here and you have another cross here. And I feel like if this is your relationship, I want you to trust what's happening in your relationship right now. If you're coming in for relationship clarity, know that whatever is happening in your relationship, let it be what it is right now, because there's something about your relationship that is revealing itself, and it's really simply for the best for the both of you, or however many there are. I just heard the word polyamory. If you're in a polyamorous dynamic, whatever is happening or the disruptions that's happening in your polyamorous relationship, I want you to pull back and assess everyone without judging. I want you to look at behaviors. I want you to look at whatever energies that these people have. I want you to pull back and ask yourself, is this really for me, or do I feel like I now want to exit? Because this could have just simply been an experience. And I feel like perhaps you could have been in a space where you needed to see yourself in many mirrors. Like, there needed to be several mirrors for you at the same time, perhaps for you to see yourself in a certain way to help you become more illuminated and enlightened. And now that this work is done, you are now in a space where you're like, okay, well, now I want to take these keys and I want to unlock this door, and I'm ready to leave this space. So this is bringing me to a different part of the message. This is a layered message. Here's what Spirit is saying. It's layered. I just heard Spirit tell you to focus on your healing, but also focus on your happiness right now as well. You have 75 cents, 3 quarters. You have 3 quarters here. You have 50 cents here, and you have another quarter here. I feel like when all odds are against you, trust anyway. Trust anyway. I just heard the words clearing out negative energy. I just heard the word sanctified, and I'm hearing, I don't know, someone here who's Christian and they're kind of like ashamed of them wanting to get into something else. I want you to, this is another layered message. Spirit is wanting you to know that you don't have to be afraid of switching your faith. You're finding yourself. We all have a path. We all have a path. Do not be afraid of coming over to this side. And the reason I say that is because there's so much more knowledge and wisdom you can find. You don't have to be afraid of that. These snakes are not evil here. These snakes are representative of healing. This snake is on its back. This one is slithering away, and then this one has it's just the head here. So this is letting me know that there's a lot of serpentine energy that is trying to find its way to some type of healing, rebirth, transformation, transmutation. And I feel like with this, you could have a really strong connection to people who were healers, or you could have a strong connection to people who were just able to see things in a way that others weren't. And you may be someone who was misunderstood a lot, and that's the reason why you were being protected the way that you were, because it's like you're always being misunderstood. It's like you're always being misunderstood. And I feel like now you're in a space in your life where someone sees you and they're like, listen, I will help you out with this. I know that it was an accident. I will do the best that I can. I feel called to help you. There's some type of help that's on the way. And it makes it easier for you because now you can be rest assured that you're not going to be seen in a certain light, because this was not something that you did on purpose. It was genuinely an accident. It was something that someone did by accident. Also, I just heard you are not guilty by yourself, because there were preventative measures that could have been taken. And I want you to apply this to whatever situation in your life. Let's just say, for example, if you're walking past something and you take a knife out of the drawer and then the whole drawer falls apart. It's like, okay, well, I didn't know that the whole drawer was going to fall apart. I didn't know that if I used this, that this was going to happen. No one warned me. Like, no one said anything. And this feels so mundane, but I also feel like it's one of those things that where it could be applied to any situation, whether it be at work, whether it be in your personal relationship, whether it be a relationship with your father, your mother, whoever. It's like, I genuinely did not mean for it to go this way. And really what it is that people have this certain idea, and because they have a certain idea about you, they're going to automatically assume that you meant the worst. They're going to automatically assume that you didn't do this and you didn't do that, and everything you do based upon their perception is going to be wrong, or it's going to be malevolent, or that you're the bad guy, because that's how they see you. It could have been something that you may have done in the past, or it could just simply be because they're responding based upon how they felt about their old relationships or partnerships or whatever they went through. That genuinely could be what it is. But that doesn't mean that that's what the truth is. So I feel like with this energy here, I feel like Spirit is saying that you are safe and that you are protected from whatever this is. You also do have here the World card. You have the Moon card. Well, not card, but you have the Tarot. You have the Star card. Charms here as well. I just heard moving past the illusion. There's some kind of breakthrough. There's a breakthrough coming. And that's where I'm going to get into the next reading, to the extended reading. I'm going to leave this here. I hope that you got exactly what you needed. I hope that you got the messages you needed. Thank you so much for listening and tuning into this message. If you need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at the SaiyonanPath.org. You can also join the Saiyonan Circle for our private members, and I'll make sure to have that linked down below. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, because we're going to be doing a lot more readings, a lot more videos, a lot more poetry, a lot more writing and things like that. You can find me on Substack and Instagram over at Nuna Seas. Thank you so much for joining this space. I love you. Also, real quick before you go, I'm going to make sure to have the link to the extended reading down in the description box. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.